G'day everyone, Prep Aussie here. I hope you're all well in whatever part of the world you're watching this video. Today is Tuesday the 26th of February 2018 and the time here is 10:10 Australian Eastern Standard Time. Okay folks, great show yesterday I thought. Covered a lot of bases again. I want to show you two comments. One as regards to militia and one as regards to mortgages from comments from subs. So we'll go there. Let's do the sponsor first. Okay, this is the sponsor, my sponsor of the show, Totally Rawsome, who do golden activated turmeric paste. Not just for humans as well, for dogs. I've actually ordered some from these guys for my dog. He's got an actual hip problem at the moment, and I've been giving him a little bit of the other stuff, and he doesn't really like it, so I'm going to try this stuff. I ordered it today, so I'm going to let you know how it goes. There has been another change as well that they've asked me to advise you guys. They're not doing the Queensland markets anymore, and then the Brisbane market, and they're not doing the Palm Beach market. That's because they're so flat out. Internet, since I've been doing this for these guys, the internet service is going off the rails, so they're happy to do that, and it's taken a lot of time. So they were working, they're Aussie battlers. They're doing 7 days a week, trying to keep their business, or keeping the business going. Don't have to keep it going; it's going. So just bundle farmers market now, and there will be another one in Brisbane after April. So if you want to get hold of them, go up the top here and it says log in or about us. Sorry, where's the contacts? Must be on the bottom. Sorry, there it is. Contact us. There's the mobile number, info@totallyrawsome.com.au. Okay, I'm going to read this message from Gwyneth Isaacs as regards to mortgages. If someone tries to foreclose on your house, do not walk out of your house. Ask the lender to produce the original debt note, mortgage note, signed by you in front of a justice of the peace and by an authorised representative of the bank. Probably they will not be able to produce it, and they cannot. And if they cannot, then the judge has to decide in your favour. Okay, right, let's talk about this for a second, because I've said this before. That is correct. In America, I should have showed you guys the comment I couldn't find it, but there was a comment from a guy in the other one that I did the other day who said exactly the same thing. His brother-in-law took the lender to court to prove that they actually they owned the mortgage, and they could not. And the judge gave him the house. This was in America, and that is not an isolated case. In America, it happened a lot because people switched on to the fact that, well, hang on a minute, my bank doesn't own my mortgage. Because stupidly, the actual holder of the debt would knock on their door and say, you owe me money. Because the bank didn't do it, because the bank didn't own the debt. But ironically, the banks were foreclosing on the mortgages when they had no legal right to do so. So what that person said that I just read out then is actually correct. If you go to your bank today, and I've said this before, they used to be called mortgage certificates. Ask your bank for a mortgage certificate. They used to actually give them to you, and they used to have to give them to you by law. I'm not 100% sure if that's the case anymore. The bank will literally put its tail between its leg and run away from you and give you all this kerfuffle that, we don't have one. or, you know, oh yeah, you don't need one. They actually say to you, oh, you don't need that. It's, you know, what do you need that for? They'll tell you that for weeks. And in the end, they'll send you your latest mortgage payments that you've paid. If you want to know why I know this, it's because I've done this. The bank, the Commonwealth Bank, flat out refuses to give you a mortgage certificate to say that the mortgage is between you and them only. Don't believe me? Go to the bank and try it. If you get a mortgage certificate, send it to me on my email thing so I can actually see it, because I haven't seen one. They haven't done one for years now. And the reason is because the bank doesn't own your debt. They sold it to someone. Sorry, I need a drink of water. Okay, I hope that puts that to bed. You can find these facts out for yourself. Don't believe me, go and find out for yourself. Okay, right, next one I want to talk to you about is a gentleman here in Australia has a website called Australian Survivalism. I'll click on that and you can see it. This guy does some really good stuff, and I'm actually, if you're listening to this video or anyone gets hold of him, I would love to get you onto the show and do an interview, mate, if you're prepared to do that. Because look, he's going the same or the good route where he's showing people how to do stuff. Okay, bugging out, etc. in Australia. So, you know, you learn a lot. Now I want to read his comment here. Whoop, went too big, sorry. There it is. Militia. I don't have a militia. I have a prepper group. I have a group of 16 long-term friends that have very valuable skill sets individually. The men in the group regularly go hunting and camping together in remote locations. Should chuck some women in there, mate. Honing our survival skills, rough hiking, only taking in our packs and harness rigs that which is required to survive in the environment where we hunt and hike, whilst also maintaining a desirable weight in our packs full of necessary equipment, hunting while maintaining radio contact, sorry about that, using comms to coordinate movements to funnel prey into kill zones. All these skills are practiced regularly within my group and can easily be adapted to focus on human prey. Scary. But we're not a militia. Moving while foraging for greens, eating termites, catching small prey, finding and filtering water on the move. Your life is in your pack and in the hands of the men or people beside you, as his is in yours. That's very true. The prepper mindset goes way beyond what most individuals give thought to. We have plans for many different catastrophic scenarios, and we practice and have fun doing it. Ask yourself, what would you do if there was a worldwide economic collapse? Good point. That's why I do this show. What's your plan? Do you have a dugout location? Do you have a fallback plan? Do you have a bug out vehicle, 4x4? Do you have provisions? Do you have adequate plant identification knowledge to be able to eat from the bush? Do you know how to procure clean drinking water from a putrid source? Think, how would you feed your kids? What would you do? And if you didn't know what you would do, you should bloody well teach yourself what to do, because no one else will do it for you. Learn from those that know how. Peace to all. For some ideas about what you should be thinking about, here's a video that should help. And there's the link. Okay, all good stuff, and it's kind of where I want to go moving forward. I've done the financial. I can sit here and preach to you all about financials till the cows come home, but at the end of the day, I'll actually read you another comment. Hang on, and this is important. Hang on, I wasn't going to, but I will. Okay, it's this comment here from John Welch and the reply. Hi Prep, I know it's going to happen, but I've been hearing this since 2010. And Simon, my good mate Simon, replies, I know, me too. I guess the danger is complacency, and it really is. I still think it will happen, but I'm no longer scared, more just resigned to the facts. Look, there's probably never a truer statement said on this site. Complacency will kill you. Listen, even I get complacent. You know, running around doing whatever I'm doing. I just, you know, I don't think I think about this shit 24/7, because I don't. That's not reality. If you are doing that, then you are kind of in a scary place. You need to back off a bit. You need to do a couple of things like live a life until this happens. You're preparing for when this happens. So you live your life preparing for the fact that, you know, as Simon said there, that you're not in fear anymore. You know it's going to happen. So there should be no fear. If you're watching this show for the first time, I would strongly urge you to do that. Don't have any fear. Live your life as you're doing. Work, get up every day, do everything as you're doing. But then, excuse me, on the other side, you have a second life where you're actually preparing for the future. Because there is no way out of this, as I've said. And look, I can teach you dozens of other things on financials, but what else can I say? If America's 42 trillion in debt, we're a trillion in debt. Every other country in the world's trillions in debt. There's no way out of it. I used to be shit scared about it years ago because I was worried about my kids and blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm not anymore. Now, joining those two together, militia, prepping, what you're going to do in the future. Aussie survival is correct. I'm just a voice. I'm an idiot in front of a camera trying to educate people about what's going to happen. And yeah, hey, I started doing this years ago, and I went down the wrong path with Nibiru and everything else because I thought something was going to happen. And I want to touch on that in another video, and I want to clear that all up with everybody so everyone understands where I'm coming from, because it's come up in comments. I went down a path where I thought the world was going to end tomorrow because of Nibiru. It wasn't that at all. Well, actually, it started with financial, and then I was trying to find why is there so many deep underground military bases, etc., etc. But like I said, I'll touch on that in another video tomorrow. What I want to concentrate on today is making sure that you guys understand that the two are joined. Okay, survival, prepping, living a life. You know, you have to live your life, but you have to prepare for what's coming. And it is going to come. Whether it comes tomorrow, tonight, tomorrow, the next day, next week, next month, next year, who knows? But it is going to happen. And how you deal with that is up to you. It's not up to me. But what you need to do is get together with like-minded people. As I said before, I will, now I've got everything sorted out, car, house, everything else here, I can come to Melbourne and wherever you want and do seminars on this stuff. And I'm not asking for money, not asking for anything else. You guys just get together, you help me get accommodation and flights down there and back. I'm happy to come and talk to you guys. And the main thing is, even if I don't come, the main thing is that you all meet up somewhere and you start talking to each other, because you will find that one person you've got a connection with who will be able to help you, and you will be able to help each other. You might find that the person lives 3 doors down from your house, but you don't know them. When we did this in Perth, the Perth team is now 50 people plus and building, and they've got a great community there. They go camping together. They do it just like the Australian Survivalism said. They're ironing all the things out. And I'll tell you what, the Perth people are someone that you would not want to cross if they were all together and they had to get to somewhere, because they've got everything kitted out, a whole kit and caboodle, all done. So if you're sitting in that house in a suburban street in Melbourne, Sydney, Perth, Perth, Brisbane, and you're thinking you're all alone in this, well, the bloke next door might be exactly the same as you, but he's not prepared to say anything to anybody. So the thing is, we did a meeting here in down at the local library here in Currumbin. I had 60 plus people there. A lot of those people got together after the event and are still meeting up. And they lived literally miles from each other, but didn't know. That's what this is about. Now in the future, I will actually tell people where the bug out location is. Well, it's no mystery. It's got to be up in the Tablelands, Tenterfield, that sort of area, Gippsland, up above Victoria, in the hills around Victoria, and the Warrumbungles. Yeah, you might think that's kind of strange to say that, the Warrumbungles, but fantastic food sources, rain, water sources, not too much at the moment because of the bloody drought, but there's still water there if you know how to find it. There's water everywhere if you know how to find it. So look, these are all the things that you need to start thinking about. Showing you the financials, that's going to happen. Then there's going to be conflict. That's going to happen. It can't not happen. You got hundreds of thousands of angry people running around the world going, it's America's fault. It's China's fault. It's Europe's fault. Whoever. So there's going to be some pretty pissed off people running around. So just now's the time, like he said, to get together, start going out in the bush, start camping, start doing whatever you got to do to get ready. Okay? Right, there's one other thing that I want to read to you guys. And it needs to stop on this channel. Okay, folks, I want to draw your attention to this person here called Adolf Hitler. Right, I've spoken about this guy before. Listen, mate, I don't know who you are, and quite frankly, I don't give a fuck who you are, really. But even with just a moniker calling yourself Adolf Hitler is just ridiculous, mate. Seriously. Get a fucking grip on life, pal, please, and get off my site. I've banned you off it already, so you obviously know how to get back on here. So I'm just going to go to YouTube. You either change your name and stop talking about Jews, will you? It just pisses me off. Grow up. I'll read some comments up here. Here's what's going to happen, folks. If you guys keep conversing with this guy about this crap, I will ban you as well. I don't care how long you've been on my site, anything. Now, I just can't understand why anyone would want to call themselves Adolf Hitler. It's not funny. If you're an Aussie, it's not funny. There is no funniness in calling yourself Adolf Hitler. It's ridiculous. Grow up. If you want to stay on this site, change your name. And I'm telling you, people, if you start conversing with this guy, especially about the Jews, I will just wipe you off this site. Seriously. That's not a track that I want to go down. But I'll put it to you this way. Where do you stop with this shit? Oh, it's the Jews. Oh, it's the blacks. Oh, it's the Muslims. Oh, it's the white people. Oh, it's the rednecks. Oh, it's Chinese. Even when I'm telling you about what China's going to do, which is they're telegraphing it to everybody anyway, I still don't sit there and go, I'm going to shoot up every Chinese person in Australia. That's just ridiculous. There's Chinese Australians who will help more than be happy to help us when this kicks off. There's a big difference. So I'm telling you guys, if you want to be racist or you want to be, I don't know, whatever else you can think of as regards to race, a bigot, especially, then I will ban you off this site and I will be reporting you to YouTube. It's as simple as that. So your choice is yours now, mate. Change your name, get off this site and grow up. Okay, and after my rant, verse of the day. Jesus replied, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. And the second is like it. Love your neighbour as yourself." See? I don't click on this until I click on it each time. So what did I just say about love, finding love for each other? It's not that hard, folks. And listen, I'm saying that because I used to be one of the hardest blokes on the planet and used to go around destroying people physically, beating them up, whatever, you name it, I did it. And I'm telling you the truth. And there's no joy in it. I thought there was for a while, but there isn't. It's a shit life. Find the good in people, regardless of who they are. If you can't find the good in them, get rid of them. Tell them to leave. Then don't be part of your life. Okay? And as always, we'll finish with the Lord's Prayer. And Adolf, maybe you might want to say it a couple of times just to actually realise something about yourself. The Lord's Prayer. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever and ever. Amen. All right, folks, I've rabbited on long enough. God bless. Prep out.